When the original Resident Evil 2 came out in 1998, I was 2 years old, and I'm pretty sure I didn't even have a Nintendo 64 until around 2000. So that game kind of flew over my head for obvious reasons. I'm not a huge fan of Resident Evil. I have played a couple of the games. I've played 4, and I've played Revelations, and I played a little bit of 6 and 7 when those came out. But never really was a huge fan of 2, as it kind of was before my time, and by the time that I was old enough to kind of play those games, the mechanics of the game were a little clunky. So seeing gameplay on Reddit and YouTube of the update with kind of more current control schemes and current gameplay and mechanics like that, the game piqued my interest. And obviously this isn't like a full comprehensive review. I'm not going to go in and talk about the intricacies of the graphics or the intricacies of the sound design or anything like that, but I can say the game does look fantastic on the PS4, and it does sound fantastic when played through headphones. Definitely a very immersive experience, definitely adds to the more intense and terrifying nature of the game. This not being an ultra comprehensive review, there shouldn't be too many spoilers, as I'm not going to go into too much detail about anything, but just be warned, there may be a couple spoilers via the gameplay that I show. So I enjoyed the game's mechanics a lot. I really liked being conservative with bullets. I liked the ability to solve puzzles as you explore and kind of having to figure out, oh, this one goes with this to create this. Almost felt kind of like one of those escape rooms you can do, or I used to play them on like Flash websites of kind of escape the room games. Almost of that nature, where it's puzzle solving in order to get from one room to the next, and that kind of stuff I really enjoyed. Also, I mean, I enjoy Resident Evil's mechanics of kind of zombies that you have to, it matters where you shoot them, and you gotta hit them in the head, or you gotta take their limbs off and things like that in order to actually kill them. But also you don't want to waste any bullets while you're doing that. For me, I really enjoyed the story. I think it's a very enthralling world and a very enthralling way of kind of bringing you into the game through both the video element with the really nice polished graphics. I played in 4K on the PS4 Pro, as well as I really enjoyed the way that the game uses sound and music to kind of keep you on the edge of your seat and keep you enthralled in that world. The game was really amazing and really enthralling, and I was really loving it, probably up until around the 5th hour of playing the game. And that's for one reason, and that's the first time you meet Mr. X, who is a tyrant. If you've played the game, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and this is the point where the game stopped being fun for me for a little while, as I didn't personally enjoy the mechanic of having to constantly run from something that always knows where you are and can always find you. Some people might say this mechanic is good for the game because it keeps you moving and it keeps you motivated to solve the puzzles and keep going, but for me, it added to an already stressful environment where it just made me a little bit too stressed to be having fun. Obviously, I stuck with the game even past the Mr. X scenes, and I'm glad that I did, because there is some really good payoff for those of you who are like me who hate Mr. X. That being said though, honestly the second half of the game to me felt a little bland, and I mean obviously this is a game that came out 20 years ago that they're remaking, so that's the basis they have to work with, but for me it didn't seem fully fleshed out like the first half of the game did. I did really enjoy playing as Ada and playing with the mechanics of her, I think it was an EMP gun is what it is, it kind of can control electronics, but after you go from the police station to the sewers and into the laboratory, the game kind of seems a little bit less thought out than the original first half of the game. That, coupled with the ending being kind of anticlimactic in terms of like you build up this giant scene and then it just takes like literally nothing to kill the final boss. To me, it left me wanting to play again, but I guess maybe that's just because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get you to play through the game multiple times and kind of improve the way you play through it. I only played through the game one time for multiple reasons. Obviously the most glaring reason is that I only rented the game, so I only had time to play through it once. Not that I really wanted to play through it again. I thought that playing through it once, you kind of got the entire game's mechanics and you got everything that you needed. So for me personally, it wasn't a game that I wanted to go back and play over and over again. So overall, Resident Evil 2 is a fun little game that I would definitely recommend to anyone who's a fan of survival horror or games with similar mechanics like it. If you're a hardcore fan, I guess it's something you definitely want to add to your collection, but if you're not, it's something that I would recommend doing what I did and just renting it for a couple days. So now that you've gotten my thoughts on the game, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it as well. It's definitely a game that is kind of polarizing amongst people. Some people hate it, some people love it, and I'd love to see what you guys have to say as well. I would also really love to know what you guys think about this video. I'm trying something new in terms of this channel. If you've been watching for a while, you may know me for my reviews. I used to do very formal reviews, and I'm honestly kind of more of a fan of this style of kind of a little bit less formal, a little more informal review. I would love it if you subscribed, love it if you stuck around, and let me know what you thought of this video as well as any other video on my channel, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video. So thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.